Good evening, everybody. This is Victor Kilo 4, Golf Romeo Bravo, Gary in Fairyland. The clock's just gone 7:30 p.m, 1930 hours. It's Wednesday night. It's another edition of VK4BAD BADnet. Okay, I'll change my call sign to the club call sign of VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. This is Victor Kilo 4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Now listening for any call-ins, VK4BAD.
VK4 Mike Victor. VK4 IJP.
Okay, so far we've got two of yous. VK4 Mike Victor, good evening there, Al. VK4 IJP, good evening there, Ian. Anyone else want to join the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club's BADnet? VK4BAD listening? Okay, it might be a quiet night tonight. Anyway, we'll put another call out. Anyone else want to call in for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club, VK4BAD? Okay, nothing else heard at the present time. Currently at Fairyland it's 27.1 degrees, 55% humidity, and 0 wind speed. And I just hear the storm birds going in the background, so might have a bit of a storm coming up. So far we've got VK4 Mike Victor and VK4 India Juliet Papa. Does anyone else want to join the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club? Call in now, please. Oh, she's going to be a quick one tonight by the sounds of it. Okay, before we fire off the first round, does anyone else want to join the net? So far we've got VK4 Mike Victor, L, and VK4IJP Ian. Does anyone else want to add to the list? VK4BAD?
VK4 Tango Papa. And VK4JRA.
Okay, we've got another couple more there. Oh, okay, VK4 Tango Papa, good evening there, Kerry. And VK4JRA, Jake. Okay, anyone else want to join the net before we start the first round? VK4BAD? That station, all I'm getting is a tone coming through. Can you try again there, over?
VK4 Yankee Charlie.
Okay, VK4 Yankee Charlie, good evening there, Jim. Does anyone else want to join the net for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club? Call in now, please. Okay, I'll run down the list. We've got VK4 Mike Victor. Good evening there, Al, in Dalby. VK4 IJP Ian in Proston. VK4 Tango Papa around near the Toowoomba area. VK4 JRA Jake in Dalby. And VK4 Yankee Charlie Jim in Blackbutt. Does anyone else want to join the net before we start the first round? VK4BAD. Okay, nothing else heard. Okay, not much else been happening this way. It's been pretty quiet. I've been playing around with getting some ATV stuff organised and doing some little bits and pieces there. Currently at the present time, I am actually videotaping and recording this session like I did last week. No worries there, fellas. I've got two cameras, one looking at me, so people can see my ugly looking mush, and the other camera is pointing to the radio, so they could see what's happening at that end of the sticks. Okay, VK4 Mike Victor. You throw it over to Ian. Ian, throw it over to Kerry, VK4 Tango Papa. Kerry, throw it over to Jake, VK4 JRA, and Jake, you throw it over to Yankee Charlie Jim. VK4 Mike Victor, VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. Over to you there, Al.
VK4BAD in the group VK4MV, and good evening, everyone. And yes, took a while to assemble the multitude, but we're off and running. What am I doing? Not much at the moment. Packing ready to go for a long drive tomorrow off to Blackwater and back on Friday. So written trip to pick up a bus. Not for me, but somebody else. So they're tapping me for a favour as the Uber driver. So we've got a few bits and pieces thrown in the vehicle, and this radio I'm running at the moment, I think I might disassemble that and throw that in as well, because it can run a GPS head on it, or input, and I can use that for the speed check, because it has a screen where it does course and heading and speed. Interesting that I'd put it in the car for a trip to Brisbane and looked at the comparison between the dash speedo and the GPS, where I thought I was hitting on 100 kilometres an hour or thereabouts on the vehicle speedo. The GPS reported it was 92. So I think that's a fair disparity, and I'd assume that there might be 1 or 2k out on the calculations of that, but I think that's a bit excessive. So anyway, we've got to look into that. But anyway, it could come in handy. Just throw it in and I'll run that. And just throw a mag base antenna on the roof with the GPS receiver antenna as well. So other than that, haven't done a lot this week. I've done a little shower of rain on Monday night, going to town for tea. Could hardly see the road. Quite interesting with and it was 30 degrees in the car when we left, and 21 when we got into town. So there was a rapid drop in the outside temperature by the time we'd driven into Cunningham Street. So how about that? Anyway, over to UN, VK4AJP, and the group VK4 Mike Victor. Good evening now. The group, the BADNet group, this is VK4IJP. Good evening, Gary, Al, Terry, who I haven't spoke to before, Jake, and Jim as well. I'm struggling a little bit at the moment. I've got a cold. I probably haven't had a cold. In fact, I can't really remember when I've had a cold last. It could be probably 5 or 6 years ago. So I'll see how the voice handles it. When it comes to the speedos, I've generally noticed over the years that there's about a 4% error under speed with cars. With a couple of Hyundais I've had, a Qashqai that we've got at the moment, a Nissan Qashqai, and 3 Ford Falcon station wagons. They're all about 4% under speed, and so generally, if I'm in a 100 zone, basically I do 105, and I've never been stung by one of the cameras, especially that camera that's, I'm going to call it the Logan motorway. I think it might have a different way. The camera that's on the Logan motorway there near Ipswich, never ever been stung, and I've been doing that for 10 years. So, and there's obviously many other cameras between there and Tweed Heads and down at Ballina, where Beth used to regularly drive. So, but my 4-wheel drive that has 33-inch wheels on it instead of 31s is pretty well spot on. And I've had 2 4-wheel drives with 33s instead of 31s, and they've always been spot on. So it is interesting when you're in. I've actually checked that for a number of GPSs. I took the GPS out of my boat and used it, and a phone app, and a mate's GPS as well. Yeah, so bit of rain earlier on today, just a quick heavy downpour. Would have only been a millimetre or 2 involved. I don't have a gauge. Generally I just get a bit of a measurement off one of the neighbours. One day I'll buy one. I want to buy one of those flash electronic ones so I can connect it up to the internet and have a look at it when I'm away from home. But other than that, I've raised my 80-metre dipole by another 4 metres, and now the SWR is resettled, totally settled on that. And HF is working. Gee, but it's very noisy at the moment. Hopefully tomorrow I'm going to add some extra elements to that array, make it an array, and that I've decided I'm not going to do 10 metres, but I'm just thinking about what bands I'll actually do elements for, and I want to try to get an element in for the low 160 metres. So but anyway, a couple of things happening. Just depends on how I feel with this cold. Anyway, over to you there, Terry. VK4TP in the group, VK4IJP. VK4IJP, I think it might be. This is VK4 Tango Papa. Thanks, Ian, and nice to meet you for the first time. A few
few new call signs here that I haven't met before. Alan there, Mike Victor, and I've spoken to Jake once or twice, I think, and of course Jim on the end of the line there. So good evening to you, Jim. Okay, the weather here today, my home QTH is Clifton, by the way, midway between Toowoomba and Warwick, and we sat on around 35 here today, so quite warm. A nice little drop of rain yesterday afternoon, evening. The storm came through, and that's the first rain we've had really since early December. So we're really hanging out for the rain, and finished up with 21 mil. So the ground was so dry and big cracks everywhere, so this morning you'd hardly tell that it had even rained. But that's how dry everything was. Anyway, it'll put a little bit of moisture back in for a few days. The grass had all browned off and was dying, and it may just stir it back into life for a few more days with the hot weather that's around this week. It's going to dry out very quickly. Okay, I'm heading up to Blackwater there tomorrow, Al. Bit of a drive for you. Speedos. Yeah, well, our dual cab four-wheel drive, Colorado, it's about 6% out. So I sit on 106 on the speedo, and that way I'm just doing 100 when checking it with the GPS. So certainly a long way out. 4%'s even far enough, but 6 is really getting away from it. When I first got the vehicle, I didn't realise it was so much out, and I'm sitting on what I thought was 100 going down the Bruce Highway, and everyone's flying past me and going crook because I'm holding them up. I thought I was sitting on 100. It would have only been 94. Anyway, I'll pass it on to Jake, VK4. Oh, thanks for calling us in tonight, Gary. Normally I'm not here on, well, sometimes I'm not here on a Wednesday night, other times we have visitors, so tonight I happen to be occupied in that area, so I thought I will jump on the net here and see how it goes. Actually, I haven't worked through this repeater since it got upgraded. I used to struggle to get into the old one. We'd had all sorts of issues. This one romps in here. I'm only on low power, so anyone can give us a signal report. I can bump the power up if need be, but it's coming back to me full scale here, so I figure it should be okay. VK4GRB with the group, VK4 Tango Papa.
Yeah, VK4TP, VK4GRE, in the group. Thanks there, Kerry, and yeah, thanks Gary for running the net as well. Good evening to Al and Ian and Jim at the end there. So yeah, nice little roll up in the end by the sounds of it. I was a little bit late getting down here, so I've been at work today, working on installing some microwave dishes. So up on a tower, that was pretty interesting. First time being up about 30 metres high in an EWP bucket. So yeah, it was an interesting experience, that's for sure. Luckily there was no wind, or very little wind, so that was beneficial. It still moves around a bit though when it's not that high. So yeah, anyway, and then it got a bit dark and we thought it might rain, and if there was lightning within 10 kilometres, we would have had to call it off. But the closest lightning was 14 kilometres away, so we persevered on. Anyway, that was that was a bit of fun for the day, and that was about half an hour out of Dolby. So that's about all it's about the most exciting thing I've got up to, apart from being down in Brisbane for the last 2 weeks. That ended on Friday, and I'm back here at Dolby now for a good couple of weeks yet. Anyway, that's all good. This repeater, Kerry, it's running 50 watts now for a cold-free vertical antenna. Was on a single folded dipole beforehand, sort of facing the Toowoomba direction up there on the bunyas, and now it's on a cold-free antenna, which is on the one of the other legs, sort of on the Dolby side. But it's spaced probably a metre to a metre and a half from the tower leg, at about 15 metres. So a bit more gain and a bit more power too, 20 watts with the old JC repeater, and it's 50 watts now with this Motorola SLR 8000. So anyway, it seems to get out quite well. It's a little bit deaf if you're trying to get it with a portable, like a handheld, but that's, I think, just due to the RX side of the cans having a bit too much insertion loss, so a bit of fine-tuning, I think, to bring that down and try and keep the isolation up at or around or over 100 will help it out, I think. So, anyway, I think that's about all I got for this round, so I'll pass it on to Jim, VK4YC. This is VK4GRB.
Hey, good day, Jake. Good to hear you keeping out of mischief there. Up the top there, Gary, for running the net there tonight. Trip to Blackwater. You'll have your work cut out there for you for a while, mate. Bit of a drive, all right. It sounds like there's been a little bit of rain about. We had, must have been Monday night. We had, or afternoon, we had a storm that blew everything to bits, and not much rain, and then later on it settled into a bit of a drizzle through the night, and we ended up with 25 millimetres here. So that was good to see. What else we got there? No good on the cold either by the sound of that this time of the year. Bit unexpected, I guess. But sounds like you got a little bit of rain up that way too. And Kerry got some down there to try and fill up them black soil cracks. It'd probably take more than 21 millimetres there to do that, Kerry, by the sound of it. Down your way there. We have had a few falls in between there where you must have missed out. But it's just the luck of the draw, I think, when these little cells come through. And 35 degrees too, that's getting up there. I think it was not quite 32 here in the shade after lunch today. And didn't think that was too bad, but it's certainly getting up there, and all reports supposed to be a bit warmer tomorrow. Jake, okay, on the microwave dish there too, or dishes. That's getting up there fairly well, all right. In the EWP. I think where I used to work, we had a JLG that where we used to do our mechanical maintenance was 23 metres, and I reckon that was far enough. As long as it doesn't get too windy or anything like that, but I guess some of these machines have wind speed monitoring on them as well. so that when it gets over a certain wind speed, you have to get out of it. The biggest one I've seen at the power station there, where they were replacing insulators on the high tension transmission lines or towers, was 63 metres. And yeah, I thought they can have that. Yeah, to get up over the top and replace all those great big ceramic insulators. But apart from that, no, keeping out of mischief here. Yeah, have been, apart from the bit of rain, we have been busy irrigating and foliar sprays on the crops. Is about it. So back up to you, Dick. See how things are going from the top, and okay on the ATV side of things too. VK4BAD, VK4YC.
VK4 Yankee Charlie, VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. Before I continue on, does anyone else want to join the Wednesday night BADnet, VK4BAD listening? Okay, no one else on tonight. I was expecting Merv, or, well, I wasn't expecting him, but he's one who usually pops up on here, and, anyway. No worries on everything. Yeah, my speedo's 5 kilometres out, due to my GPS. I sit on about 105, and I'm sitting on sitting smack on 100 on the speedo, or sitting on 105 on the speedo, and I'm sitting at 100 smack on the GPS. So yeah, they give us a bit of a bit out, but not a worry on that one. Yeah, okay, Ian, you're going to Blackall. Did I catch you right saying you're going to Blackall? Okay, you got a bit of a drive ahead of you there. What's that? About 10 hours from here. From where we are. No worries. Yeah, I wrote you down there, Kerry, of Clifton. Yeah, because I keep on forgetting where you are. It's the same as Merv. I keep on forgetting where he is too. And yeah, okay, Jake, up on the cherry picker. Yeah, they're fun, aren't they? Yeah, the highest I've been is 1,000 meters. That was going up the top of the chimneys at the old Hazelwood Power Station. When I was a boiler cleaner, that was one of my jobs, of going up to the top. Took 45 minutes to get up to the top. Riding on a gantry. Yeah, good fun, aren't they? And yeah, what is it? 3 meters. 3 meters, maybe a bit more than that. About 10 to 15 foot sway on the old off center. Stand by. VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta returning. And okay there, Jim, on doing some bits and pieces on the farm. Yeah, I was doing a bit of mowing today, but yeah, other than that, Not. It's good to hear you're all in there. Just a reminder that on the 11th of February, that's I think that's 3 weeks' time. Is the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club's first meeting for the month. As far as I'm aware of, I've noticed on the community page of Dalby there's a couple of people who are interested in coming. If we get a couple of extra turn up that day, that'll be nice. Okay, before we start off on the second round, is there anyone else want to join the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club's Wednesday night bad net? Call in now, please. Okay. I found an icon on my radio I have never seen the other day. It flashed up at me, and I thought, I wonder what that is. And suddenly I went off air, and I checked up in the manual. It's overheating icon. I talk too much. Okay. Yeah, I've just ordered a few extra bits and a few parts. Brought a couple of new cameras, $300 each, and that's the cheaper of the lot. I just brought 4 new microphones, $475 each. A new 6-channel mixer, audio mixer. That was $1,100. A 4-channel camera switch. That was the cheapest, one of the cheaper ones. That was, well, not cheaper ones. That was $550 for that. And I'm around about $1,500 for an ATV rack-mounted system. So that's for 70 centimeters. So I'll be running off 70 centimeters in amongst the TV channels, of course. That's where our 70 is. Okay, so I'm upgrading my sound equipment and audio visual equipment, as you could probably guess. Consideration, I've still got reel-to-reels and all, I've still got reel-to-reel tape players and tapes and all that, but I thought I might up me ante a bit from what I was. Stand by. Okay, VK4BAD returning. Yeah, what I'm looking at with this lot, as I said, I am videotaping and recording at the present time. I've had a YouTube channel for just on 12 years now, and if you're looking for it, it is it comes under as Dippy TV, Delta India Papa Yankee hyphen Tango Victor. That's the channel name. At the moment, it's I'm just uploading bits and pieces, because everything which goes on ATV, as you're aware, has got to be non-copyrighted. I will be doing a visit up to Merge and interviewing those guys on how did you get into amateur radio. Oh, don't worry, the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club members ain't been missed out either. They're going to get clobbered with it as well. And it's just a background of how'd you get involved with the radios and all that. Anyway, VK4, before I start off, anyone else want to join the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club, VK4BAD? Okay, nothing else heard. VK4 Mike Victor. That gives you a rundown on what I'm doing there, fellas. VK4 Mike Victor, VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Over to you there, Al.
VK4BAD and the group VK4MV returning from stretching on bits of paper, looking for the repeaters up around Central Highlands for tomorrow's trip. Yes, it got surprised by hearing my dulcet tones on the YouTube channel. Just so lucky I had my hair combed at the time, and it's otherwise that would have sounded a mess. Anyway, you're certainly getting involved in it, so good luck with that. And I've watched your musings on the channel, and doing okay. It's fine business. Never got involved in that. Even digital I dabbled in and left it again, but that was just an interest thing. Much more a voice and preferably HF, but that's the traditional way I came into the thing, and that's what fascinates me. So anyway, that's all good. And no, it's me. It's going to Blackwater tomorrow. Not Ian. He's staying home with his cold, and it's just a trip up there, probably 6-7 hours, 8 hours, whatever. Leave at 6 in the morning, or a bit earlier, and got to pick up a bus, so I don't know whether we'll get it tomorrow or first thing Friday, and we'll return in convoy with the bus and me tailing along behind, and I'm taking some tools and spare parts just in case, but we'll see how it goes. It's going to be converted for a camper, and that'll be probably a long-term project in amongst the other things he's got to do. So anyway, that's about it. And I thought you'd turn up eventually, Jake, after I sprung you leaving work when I was coming out of the racecourse service station. Because I've seen your car there parked a couple of times as I've gone past and wondered whether you were there or somewhere else, or ready to leave and come home. So yes, all very good, and that's about it for me. Thanks, Gary, for doing the job, and it's be interesting to see how how you continue with your musings on YouTube. Bit of a fan of YouTube and things that I can discover on it. Just dropped that out because I extended my time a bit. Yes, it's a huge amount of information I gleaned from YouTube, and it's a little bit of entertainment, but mostly informative. And lately I've been following a guy sailing in the canals in Holland, and that's quite intriguing. And be an interesting place to see. Anyway, over to you, Ian, VK4IJP, the group VK4MV. Good, Al. Yeah, it sounds like it'd be a bit of a quick trip. Actually, the bus company up here's got a bus for sale, and I was actually a little surprised at how cheap it was. Been around 15 grand, I thought. It would have been, it's a full-size service bus, so I was a little surprised. But yeah, unless there was a printing error. But just wondering what size vehicle is it, Al? Anyway, we'll find out in due course if it's a coach or a coaster or some other thing. Yeah, no, it sounds like everybody's been busy. Jim down there at the farm and Jay Carr, man, you guys have got it easy, eh? Cherry pickers and that. Back in my days, we climbed towers, used ropes and pulleys and winches on cut four-wheel drives, hoisted cables up the hard way, and that, hasn't things changed? I survived. Been on top of a couple of large towers, mainly broadcast towers are the big ones, AM broadcast towers. We've had microwave dishes 2/3 up, and I've had to go and check connectors or replace the elements in them because they've got damaged water ingression damage or something like that. But they've been pretty high. I've been to the top of the 2 towers of 2LM at Lismore. And whilst I was there, I changed the light bulbs. All fun and games. But now it's cherry pickers and cranes and things like that. It's all the way how things have changed. I'm just actually looking at my soldering iron, trying to figure out. It looks like that element has continuity in it. There's just another part where there's 2 wires just go up into it. So well a soldering iron, guys. If anybody knows anything about it, I'm going to have a look at it on the internet, I suppose. On YouTube, maybe. And before I go crazy, whether I just buy a new element or whatever I need. This is my pet soldering iron. I've had it for over 40 years. So anyway, but other than that, I forgot to mention I've done my 6 metre flower pot antenna. When it's a little bit cooler, maybe tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, I'll get it up on the roof and get it mounted. And I've also got to make which I've already marked out while we've been listening to you, an antenna switch, so I can change from HF to 6 metres, and also I'm going to do a 6 metre Yagi, probably just a 3-element one. And but I've got to work out a rotator. They seem to be very expensive to come by, and that's I've just got to work out what I'm going to do about that. I was thinking about modifying an old cordless drill. If anyone's got any ideas, I'll be quite open for them. Okay then, look, I'm a little bit confused. VK4TP, is it Terry or Kerry? There's just a couple of there. I thought it was Terry, but anyway, I'll let you correct that for me all the way down at Clifton. VK4TP, VK4IJP in the group.
VK4IJP and the group, VK4TP. Clifton returning, yes. Ian, it's a bit confusing. The call sign has no relation to the name, so the dingo in the call sign doesn't relate to Terry. No, the name is Kerry with a K for kilo. So, sorry about the confusion, but yeah, it's hard to distinguish. If your hearing's anything like mine, and it's hard to distinguish sounds over the radio sometimes. It helps when things are given phonetically. So it's K for kilo, Kerry. Yeah, well, up in the boom lift, elevators working platforms, yeah, I spent a bit of time in them myself. And when you're up on those big ones with the extendable axles, and I was working up on one of them at the Paradise Dam there, just near Biggendon, the Burnett River. And yeah, that when you're up on the fully extended ride up, that little platform down underneath it doesn't look very big at all. You think, how's that going to hold me up with all that much extra leverage? Yeah, certainly gets a bit hairy at times. But 63 metres, wow, that's a long way up there, Jim. But I'm wondering why they had to replace the ceramic insulators. I thought they'd be have an indefinite life, those fellas, but obviously something had to be changed because of it. All right, I wish everyone a good evening. I'll get along here, and thanks for having us in this evening. Okay, with your ATV there too, Gary. Progressing by the sound of it. Cheers all round, and I'll pass it back on to Jake, VK4GRB, with the group VK4 Tango Papa.
VK4TP, this is VK4GRA, returning again. Thanks again there, Kerry. So, yeah, and alright, Gary, on the ATV stuff as well. I'll have to get on and have a watch of some of your YouTube videos that you've done already. So, I've seen you posting a few on Facebook and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'll have to see if we can receive your ATV once you got the setup up and going. So, with the 120 watts, I think it is that you're going to be running. So, yeah, we should probably get something here in Dalby if I point my antenna out your way. So I'll have to put a rotator on the TV antenna. So it's only a cheap one pointed up at the bunyas. So, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, we had to use a cherry picker for this particular tower. I think it's about 3 or 4 years old, this tower, so not very old, but it's just a steel, I think they call them a monopole. So there's no qualling facilities on it at all. It's just basically a big light pole, but it's about, to be probably 1,200 or 1.5 meters in diameter at the bottom. So the only way to access the antennas on the top is via an EWP. So there's no ladder, there's no lines, there's no hooks, there's no nothing. Yeah, anyway, that's obviously how it was designed. I've been up about 24 metres on a tower. That was just a 3-legged tower with a ladder, so that's normal. But yeah, for the more difficult ones like this one, it's an EWP, and it was a 125-foot EWP, so it goes higher than what we went, but we had no need to go that high. So anyway, that's all good. I don't think there's a lot else to report on, and Al caught me driving out of work this afternoon as he was driving away from filling up the car for his trip to Blackwater, I'm guessing. So yeah, I'm not in the shop a lot of the time, Al, but sometimes I'm there. It's probably 30% of the time I'm there, and then all the other times I'm out on site or out helping out doing jobs somewhere else. So yeah, today went a bit overtime because we're having a few issues. Microwave links don't seem to like trees in the way. So, yeah, anyway, we'll go back out on Friday and see what we can sort out. Alright, I'll stick around and listen to the end, and then I think I'll go up and organise what I'm going to eat. Alright, VK4YC, this is VK4GRA.
Yeah, good, Jake. Yeah, I've not long finished mine while we're talking here, right? So one step ahead of you there. But yeah, okay, on the towers and so forth there. Certainly keeping out of mischief there. Kerry, you might be gone, but I didn't comment on your power and so forth there, but certainly coming through, getting the repeater quite well on your lower power setting there by the sound of it. And Gary, yeah, YouTube side of things, yeah, interesting. And the equipment you purchased there, I guess a matter of putting it all together and getting everything working the way you'd like it to. Yeah, quick trip there by the sound of that, but, and a few spare tools just in case. And cheers there too. Yeah, not much else to throw in to the ring there tonight. Thanks again, Gary, for hosting the net there tonight. We'll catch up down the track, I guess. And I'll say good night. And maybe hear some voices on other frequencies there somewhere. VK4BAD, VK4 Yankee Charlie.
VK4 Yankee Charlie, VK4 Bravo Alpha Delta. Before I continue on, is there anyone else who wants to come in and say hello, goodbye before we close the net off? VK4BAD. Okay, nothing else heard. Well, thank you there, fellas, for coming up. We have VK4 Mike Victor L, VK4 India Juliet Papa Ian, VK4 Tango Papa Kerry, VK4 JRA Jake, and VK4 Yankee Charlie Jim. No worries there, fellas. Nice to hear yous in there, and yeah, I'll be spending a few hours tonight. I'll edit this lot, and I've the last couple have been pretty raw. You know, they're raw. They were just experimental kind of ones, see if it worked and all the other stuff. This one here, I've just got myself a new editing program, so I'm going to be trying that out tonight and patch bits and pieces in. As I said, I've got two cameras here going at the moment. One's looking at me, one's looking at the radio. So I'll flick between the two, and so you're not always looking at myself. Okay, with that lot there, before we close off, I'll do one more call to see if anyone else wants to come in and say hello, goodbye before we close the net off. VK4BAD. Okay, nothing heard. Okay, this is Victor Kilo 4 Bravo Alpha Delta for the Bunya Mountains and District Amateur Radio Club. We hold this net every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. 1930 hours on 146.675. Negative offset with a 91.5 access tone. This is Victor Kilo 4 Bravo Alpha Delta. I'll now change back to my home call of VK4 Golf Romeo Bravo, Gary in Fairyland. And I'll leave the frequency open for general traffic. Until the same time next week, 7-3, VK4 Bravo, Golf Romeo Bravo. Take care of yourselves and have a good trip there, Al.